Hi there, I'm Kim Conarroe. I would like to start by saying thank you to the Prince Albert Métis Women Association Midship program for making this session possible. Today I will be showing you how to make a fancy Dreamcatcher like this. Us Métis are a little bit more fancy, so we need fancier Dreamcatchers. So first thing you need to do is to unpack your bag full of materials. You should have a large hoop, a bag full of yarn, a small bag of white string, a bag of beads, a bag of feathers, and a doily. And just like each of us, you'll all have a different doily to work with. So the process will differ and you'll have to use your judgment. So the first thing I do is I take my yarn out of the bag and I wrap it around my hand like this, just so that the yarn's easier to work with. Because I find if you don't have your yarn under control, it'll get away on you. Now, you take your and then you tie the string on about 2 inches onto your hoop. And then you go around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I find any more than 5 times it gets hard to handle. And then I pull. And then I kind of use my other index finger to hold it here. And then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm going to continue until all the way around my hoop until I get back to here. Okay, now I'm at the end. I'm going to cut off about another 2 inches at the end, and I'm going to save this for the end. Then I tie this end and this end together at the bottom, and then I'm just going to tie it around my finger at the top, and this will be where we hang our Dreamcatcher from on the wall, so that it should be a loop like that. Then you're going to open up your little white string bag, and I find it easier to cut about this length of string off to work with. I take this right at and I'm going to tie this onto the hoop at the top by my hanging loop. And I'm going to tie that on there like that. And I'll double knot it so it doesn't slip off. You don't want that coming off. Then you're going to take your doily and you're going to lay it down in the middle of the table. And you pick a spot that makes sense for your doily. So there's a hole right there. I'm going to stick it in there like that. And I'm going to pull it through like that. And I'm going to go wrap it around, pull it through, and then I'm going to find another hole that makes sense to my doily and put it through that hole. I think for this big pink one, I'm going to do the center hoop. But when I did my other white doily that I showed you at the beginning, when I did this one, I went every second hole. And just so that you can see, it looks like a triangle. And you thread your string in and out all the way around so that it looks like triangles. So I'll leave that to you and I'll get this finished and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm completed my web around, and then I take my string and I tie it to the beginning of my little string. And then I always double tie because I'm scared that it'll come undone. And you do all this work and you don't want it to come undone. So you tie it together. And then you're going to cut this piece off. And when I was working, I cut my string into like about a 3-foot section. I had to cut another 3-foot section and tie it to that end. But you can't. I did it right here, but you can't even really see it, and it just adds to the beauty of it. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take the rest of your strings, and on this first one, I only added the thin strings and the beads and feathers. On this one, I'm going to tie the white little strings on, and I'm going to add some of my extra yarn onto the end too, just to make it a little bit fancy. So I'm going to tie my strings onto the bottom of my Dreamcatcher now. The last step you're going to do, if you choose to, I strung strings on like that, and I included beads in your package and feathers. I strung the beads and they're hard to get on the yarn. If you have more patience than me, you can get the beads on the yarn. If not, you can keep them on the little skinny strings. Then I take if you want to decorate it with the feathers I included, what I did was I took the feather and I just stuck it in the middle of the bead. And then the feathers kind of hold the beads into place. And you can make it look real fancy. And as fancy or as plain as you want. And then I was showing my mom this, and she also gave me a great idea. You could go and buy little butterflies and flowers, and you can even decorate it with flowers and butterflies. I didn't think of that. I should have talked to my mom before that. But there you go. That's your Dreamcatcher. I hope you enjoyed this session, and I hope you all have sweet dreams with your Dreamcatcher. Bye.